All right, guys, let's begin. Coming into this reserve, initially, one of the first things that I notice are all of these little things littering the ground. All right, so these things, if you've ever wondered what they are, these are male pine cones that are done producing pollen and then fall to the ground. Okay, so those things are all over the place right now because they're done producing pollen and they've dropped to the ground. So this first area in the reserve is a very nice open forest. And it's one of my favorite spots out here. And it's one of the first ones that you get to, at least going this direction through the reserve. Now I'm going to stop right here and show you something that, is visually noticeable. Okay, here on the right side is an area that we burned about 3 years ago. Okay, now we use prescribed fire to manage these areas to keep the understory open, growing plenty of nutrients in the ground, and it also helps eliminate invasive species as well as things like ticks and chiggers and various things that you don't want if you're walking around out in nature. Okay, so this is the side that we burned about 3 years ago. But over here is a side that we burned back in February. Okay, and it looks very desolate right now. It doesn't look like very much is growing, but obviously we didn't hurt any of the trees. Okay, the only things that might have been damaged are the small things on the ground, but we are already getting growth of new organisms. Okay, so by the end of spring, this area is going to be loaded with a bunch of life, including a lot of very pretty flowers. Okay, now speaking of flowers, if you continue down this path just a little bit more, you will come up to the first very noticeable flower out in the reserve right now. Okay, you guys might recognize this. This is a buckeye. Okay, here's what its flower structure looks like. All right, it's red, and each one of these individual things is a flower. Okay, there's another larger one over here. And again, you can just see that flower head at the top. If any of you are aware of keeping a buckeye for good luck, these flowers, all right, here's one that is open, when pollinated, will eventually develop into those buckeyes that people will hang on to for luck.